You're such an asshole.
All right. We have a request. I have to anonymize some things here. Aaron, I work in a team of a certain amount of people in a field. It's been brought to my attention by some coworkers that a new person we hired is a felon convicted of bad things. Not that there'd be a felon convicted of good things. Oh, he walked a lady across the street. The death sentence for you, my good sir. And other despicable acts. Why my company thought it was a good idea to hire this man, I do not know. I will admit I did have to dig to find this information. So maybe HR fucked up and missed it. HR are not geniuses. Yes, they are not geniuses. In all fairness, it's also possible he was charged but not found guilty. And the testimony I found online is false, though I'm inclined to believe it's all true. I can't find a conviction online. He has seemed to take a liking to me, even invited me and others to a social activity, which I refused. I don't want him near me because it's much more convenient if my other coworkers like me. And to be quite frank, I would probably commit certain acts towards him if these acts did not land me in a metal cage for many a year. I could send what I've got on him if you're curious. My question is, how would you approach telling him to stay far away in the most firm way possible without flagging yourself or landing yourself getting an HR and getting fired? Thanks. Aside from inviting you guys to a social activity, has he done anything else at work? And he said, he invited me to another activity one-on-one, and it wasn't outside of standard normal workplace offerings. Also, sorry for the confusion regarding his conviction status. He did hint at being a felon, and I got caught up in my hatred of the crime he committed or seemed to have commit when writing. He did hint. Look, here's okay. This is not your fight. This is not your responsibility, and it is not your place to mete out any justice for several reasons. One, it is not up to you who the company hires and fires. If the company wants to hire a felon, or even if they hire a felon, whatever the crime may have been, even if they knowingly hired them or HR just fumbled the ball, that's their responsibility and their problem. You want to become Mr. Save-A-Ho, you want to become Captain America and go risk criminal records yourself. See, just because somebody committed a crime doesn't mean you now get to commit crimes against him, because that's committing a crime. I don't know where you're getting this power trip. You don't have to like the guy, but this, I'm going to punish him. Chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck. This is how you get in trouble. So it doesn't matter if they knowingly or unknowingly hired a felon. They hired a felon. That's their problem. That's their responsibility. You don't have to hang out with them. You don't have to do social activities with them. You don't even have to like them. But this, I'm going to tell them that I know, The second thing that concerns me is it's not clear whether this guy is even a felon, whether he's been convicted, whether it was just accusations, and whether you like it or not. In this country, I like it. You're innocent until proven guilty. And unless you're able to look this guy, like, you must have the information to look up his criminal record. If he's been convicted, you should be able to find out. Now, I don't know what town or state you're in, but go find out, go do a criminal search, a database, go find his name, see if he's been convicted. You're about to drag this guy out in the street and shoot him because on some, you don't even know if he's been convicted or not. So you may have an innocent man morally and ethically, or a guy who at least was found not guilty. You don't know. And even if he was guilty, the second layer of not your responsibility is the judicial system. So let's say it's probably the worst case scenario I got to imagine. They found him guilty. He did his time, and now he's out on whatever parole or work release, whatever. Okay. That's not your responsibility. That's the judicial system's responsibility. They said, okay, we found you guilty. You will serve this time in prison. And if you get good behavior, you could be released on a work release program. Right. So, unless he was guilty and the judicial system decided just let him go. We're not going to arrest him. Yeah, we're just this one guy we're going to let go. So I got to imagine if he was arrested at one time and there was a court case and now he's out free, the court either found him innocent or not guilty, or the worst case scenario, again, he committed the crime, he did his time, and now by law, he's allowed to work again. Which if you interrupt, you could be in legal trouble. You may disagree with the law. You may disagree with the judge. You may disagree with the sentencing. That's too bad for you. It is what it is. The judicial system decided what it was. Your employer, which you do not own the company thereof, decided to hire him. And this is not your responsibility or problem. You're going to make it a problem if you make it a problem for you. And yeah, man, that sucks. Let's say he did commit the crime. That's a bad person. And yeah, man, now he's working with you guys. And yeah, like every other normal human being, which he isn't normal if he's guilty of this, but it's normal for humans to want to go out and be social with their coworkers. Unless it's women, then it's like, that's all normal. And there's nothing you can do about it. And there's nothing you should do about it. You should let it the fuck go. This is not the hill to die on. This is not the hill to put a black mark on your resume. You just have to tolerate them, right? You don't like felons. I don't like Democrats. I do not like parasites. I don't like sanctimonious assholes. And I don't like criminals and thieves. I've worked with bankers. They're the worst of them all. Shut up, do your job, collect your paycheck. And if you don't like it, find another place to work. Politely turn this guy down for whatever normal social activities he's invited people for and get on with your day. And I should really put this up here. I got to put this up somehow or retitle it and make it so it gets more known. Everybody under 40 does not seem to understand the point and purpose of a job. Now, I don't know if you're under 40 or not. You don't sound like you're old. And one of the biggest lies the boomers told you young people is the most important thing about you is your career and what you do for a living. That's where all your value comes from. No, that is the opposite. It's the biggest lie. It's almost the opposite. Work has nothing to do with your value. That's not where you get your value and your social time. Work is where you get money to go live your life. And it doesn't matter what they pay you to do. I wish I learned this when I was in banking because then I would have made a lot more money. I'm no joke, probably would have had an extra $1.5 million in my pocket. I would have had $1.5 million. It's not like there's an extra 1.5. It's like indicating there's a previous 1.5 and I have $3 million in it'd be nice. I'd have $1.5 million in my pocket. And you know what? Nothing changed. You know why? Because it wasn't my company. These weren't my banks. These banks were owned by a lot of trusts and families and individual investors who are dumber than shit and let the bankers and all that. But they put these bankers in charge. They're the ones that got wiped out. It's not my business that they, against my writing and better judgment, they lent money to a bunch of pencil dick boomer real estate developer dipshits. It's not my responsibility. And you're right. I was angry about it. I was, because they're bad people. I get it. I should have just shut up, taken my money. And I never got to that point. I was 29, where I realized everyone above you, nearly all of them are idiots. All of them. Whether it's HR, your business manager, his manager, her manager, it doesn't, they're all idiots. It's not going to change People are going to make stupid mistakes. People are going to hire bad people. People are going to make bad choices and bad decisions. You know what? None of your responsibility. Get your money and go home. And if it does bother you that much, which I can understand, go work for another. Let's say you found out that this guy legit was convicted, right? And HR didn't know. How it practically applies to you in this situation is you should be questioning whether you want to work for a company that is that stupid to let someone like that in. Like, what else is HR letting in? That's where I'd be concerned. But this individual guy, no, it's not your plate. The only domain where you have a right to treat this person a certain way is socially. You don't have to hang out with them. That's it. But at work, your boss decided to hire him. Right? The fact he could apply for a job, the judicial system decided he's innocent or he is allowed to work. And if you go against that, well, then you're likely to get lectured and fired by your employer. And if you were to do other things to this person, the judicial system will have an issue and they'll send men with guns to talk to you. That's it. There you go. These are not the joys you're looking for. This is not the hill to die on. Like the hill to die on is land redistribution. We're taking your house away from you because you benefited unfairly. That's the hill to die on. We're going to cut your children's genitalia off and take them away from you. That's a hill to die on. A company hired a former felon or current felon. And now he wants to hang out. That's not the hill to die on. Absolutely not. Link below. I do have that book, How Not to Become a Millennial. Please read the chapter on careers. I've gone over this at least a dozen times. I'm not criticizing you, sir. You're probably maybe new or you haven't heard those videos before. I want all of you to go if you're upset because work is not working out the way you'd like, which is damn near all of you, please go get How Not to Become a Millennial. Read the book on the chapter on careers. That's it. You don't have to read the rest of the book. It's a long book. It's almost 500 pages. That chapter alone will make the purchase of the book worth it. And then you'll be like, oh, I get it now. And then all this anger and frustration over all the problems you have with work will mostly go away. Dior 762, nice number. Can I just put the pomade in my hair and say the special words and just get to girls that way? I'm being facetious, by the way. No, Diorcy, you have to put the pomade in and then coif it the correct way. Now, this depends on whether you're left-handed and right-handed and what time zone you're in. Right? Whether you're wearing cufflinks or not. But if you get those variables right, then yes, then peen get touched. Biscuit, $2. I watched a documentary about flowers yesterday. You know what? It's been a day for me where I there's a lot of hills that, boy, I'd love to at least make a stand on this hill. I don't want to die on this hill, but I'd love to make a stand. I'd like to leave some corpses at the bottom of this hill, but I couldn't because that would be the one I died on. And watching a documentary about flowers sounds really nice right now. There's somewhere in there's never mind. Hang on. Let me write this in. I gotta. There. Okay. Just have to save this. It's been a day. Femboy Fantasia, $2. I worked with a guy that ducked his daughter. Yeah. Despicable. Really despicable. And yeah, I know, but the employer hired him, right? He's out working, right? By the way, ladies, if you find this disgusting that certain crimes are, well, then maybe you should vote Republican to be a little bit harder on crime. Maybe you young men like, oh man, you're for free pot. Democrats are for free pot. Well, why this criminal get to do all that bad shit, man? Did you vote Democrat? You know, you're really hard on the Democrats, as I should be. They literally are the cause of most of the social problems you see right now. You have no idea how expansive they are. I've had to listen for all my adult life how Republicans are bad and nerdy and square. No, we're done now. We get to point out how bad the Democrats are. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.